Hey guys, this is Halo Ninja Warrior, and as we just finished off Tournament 12 of Halo Ninja Warrior, and we finished off tournaments on the Xbox 360, today I'll be bringing you the top 20 memorable moments of the Xbox 360. Before we go on to the Xbox One, let's take a look back and remember what we love the most, or at least what I love the most, from these tournaments. So let's kick it off with number 20. Number 20. For this one, I picked Zombie King 98's run in Tournament 1. I figure that's the best way to kick off this video, and it's the exact same way that we kicked off Halo Ninja Warrior. He was the first ever run on this course. He was number 1 in Tournament 1, and actually he failed the first obstacle 3 times in a row. That's the only time I've ever shown anyone do multiple attempts at Stage 1. But he didn't really do well in any of them, but still, it is memorable to me because it was the first ever run, and it's what got this whole thing started, in a way. So yeah, thank you, Zombie King 98, for being the first ever competitor. Now for some success, I give number 19 to Adrift 4647. In Tournament 12, when on his 8th appearance on Halo Ninja Warrior, he finally cleared Stage 1. After 7 consecutive Stage 1 failures, his record was looking pretty bad, and I don't think I ever assumed he would be on Stage 2. But he proved me wrong in Tournament 12, finally clearing Stage 1. And even though he failed the salmon ladder, it was still cool to see him finally make it to Stage 2. For number 18, I can't deny that Bradley Freakin's failure on Stage 2 in Tournament 11 was quite memorable. It was a new technique that we'd never really seen before. He wanted to get to the top of the salmon ladder and change his controller layout just to do the spider walk. But changing his controller layout didn't really help him because he kind of forgot to, you know, walk forward before changing his controller layout. And as he came out of the menu from changing his controller layout, he just fell back down the salmon ladder. And I think he could have made that technique work if he had just done it fast enough and, you know, cautious enough, but, oh well. It was still a good idea, Bradley. For number 17, this goes to actually a couple tournaments, 6 and 7 mainly. And it was just Destinies Pro's really crazy runs that he's ever had on my course. Like in Tournament 6 when he had his weird little techniques on the balance bridge and the spinning bridge, going into the warped wall, and just all this weird stuff he did. And then in Tournament 7 when he was just going insane on the salmon ladder. And I think he also did something in Tournament 10 when he jumped on top of the brace ladder. So yeah, he always brought a unique style to do my courses, and I think that made him quite memorable on my show. Number 16 goes to Hunter Unit 751 when he failed the metal spin in Tournament 9. I mainly give this one to Hunter because in the previous 2 tournaments before that, in 7 and 8, he failed the last obstacle at Stage 3, so it was really looking like Hunter had a good shot to make it back to the final stage this time, and you know, if he got to the final ring for the 3rd tournament in a row, maybe he would have finally beat it and had a shot at the final stage. But when Hunter failed the metal spin, it was just really shocking to see him go out earlier than we thought. And not just the fact that he went out earlier than we thought, it was the way he failed too. That was a very unique failure on the metal spin. And yeah, that was quite a moment to see on this course. Number 15 is Alpha Puma in Tournament 11 when he was the first person to take on Stage 1 and also the first person to clear Stage 1. We'd never seen this before. Actually, in every other tournament, the first competitor to go never even beat the 3rd obstacle and then never came back for another tournament. But Puma, because he failed so early in Tournament 10, we decided that since he showed up first for Tournament 11, we decided to let him go first. And he ended up clearing Stage 1, so it was cool to see our number 1 competitor make it to Stage 2. Number 14 really made me happy because Asians, who competed in every tournament since Tournament 6, he was not very good at Stage 1, and particularly not very good at the warped wall. He'd never beaten it before Tournament 10, but then in Tournament 10 he finally got up the warped wall. And not only did he get up the warped wall, but then he went on to beat Stage 1. And not only did he beat Stage 1, but then he went on to beat Stage 2, and it was really amazing to see a competitor who we really didn't have much hope for finally really show us his skills and get all the way to Stage 3, even though he failed on the ultimate cliffhanger. I mean, that's a tough obstacle anyway, so it was really cool to see Asians finally get to stage 3. I mean, it's just cool to see him finally get up the warped wall, to be honest, but the stage 3 was just the cherry on top. Number 13, this was one of the most impressive newcomer performances I ever saw, was BJM15 in Tournament 4 when he got to the final obstacle of the 3rd stage on his very first appearance. You know, newcomers, well, I guess aside from Tournament 1, they weren't known for having that great of success. But BJM really proved us wrong on that because it was his first ever time on Halo Ninja Warrior. And then he just goes and gets to the last obstacle of stage 3 on his very first appearance. So that was really cool to see him do so well in only one try. No experience, just going for it, and he really showed his skill in that tournament. Number 12 was in Tournament 8 when Buddy Jumps failed the half-pipe attack. I was really not expecting that because obviously in the last tournament he had just achieved total victory. But Tournament 8 was definitely a very tough stage 1, and I guess Buddy just made one simple mistake and the half-pipe attack took him out. I mean, it did take out a few competitors in that tournament, but I thought if anyone could do it, it would be the grand champion. So seeing him fail like that was a huge shock, and made that very memorable for Tournament 8. Number 11 actually goes to all of the All-Stars in Tournament 10. After the All-Stars were created in Tournament 8, we saw 3 of them get to the 3rd stage, and then in Tournament 9 we saw 2 of them get to stage 3. But Tournament 10 was the last time that we ever saw some real All-Star success, as 4 of the All-Stars were able to make it to the 3rd stage, and all did very well out of the 6 people who made it there. It was still really the last moment that we ever saw the All-Stars do really good as a group, because after that, Tournament 11 and 12, there wasn't much success from the All-Stars, but Tournament 10 was definitely a shining moment for the All-Stars on Halo Ninja Warrior. Number 10 goes to Tournament 7 when XBombX finally made it to stage 3. And not only did he make it to stage 3, but he had one crazy run on the 3rd stage, especially on the crazy cliffhanger, when he just he just went for it, man. He didn't care what he was doing, he just went into that obstacle and started jumping, and eventually he came out on the other side. That was his first time on stage 3. He was really well known for failing on stage 2. But since he had beat stage 1 5 times in a row and finally made it to stage 3, that was really what set him up to become an all-star of the course. Number 9 was just in this last tournament when we saw Buddy Jumps get all the way to the final stage and get so close to achieving total victory. It was really good because we'd seen that final stage attempted twice before, both by Gotenks, and we never saw, and Gotenks was never able to get to the top of the Heavenly Ladder, but then Buddy climbed all the way to the top and came so close to getting total victory. It was good to see him have that success in the last Xbox 360 tournament. Number 8 was in Tournament 10 when Hunter Unit 751 on Stage 3 got so close to making it back to the final stage. He got to the flying bar and went for the last jump. There's only one jump remaining, and he came up about, like, just an inch short. It was so close. I couldn't believe how close Hunter came to finally making it back to the final stage for the first time since Tournament 6, but he just missed out. It was a shame for Hunter. And another one of his failures that is on this list. Number 7, probably the biggest shock I've ever had on this course was when Drago failed Stage 1 in Tournament 11. Now before that, Drago had competed in 9 tournaments, and he made it to Stage 3 8 times in a row for himself. And that's amazing to see, but then when he comes back for his 10th appearance and fails Stage 1, I don't think anyone was really expecting that, and especially the way he failed too. He was so close to beating Stage 1, but he just slipped up on the last obstacle. It was a shame to see Drago go out like that, and unfortunately, what I think might be his last appearance. Number 6 goes to Snozzberries when he made it to the final stage in Tournament 9. This is especially memorable because this was his 3rd tournament, and the 2 previous tournaments he failed Stage 1. 2 consecutive Stage 1 failures to then making it to the final stage. It was really amazing to see Snozzberries proving his skill in this course. Even though he failed the final stage in the way he did, the fact that he beat Stage 3 was just incredible. So, very good job to you, Snozzberries. Number 5 goes to Hunter Unit 751 and I Love Blackouts when they made it to Stage 4 in Tournament 6. This was cool because in the previous tournament, Drago Sick had just finally made it to the final stage for the first time. But then Hunter and Blackouts, after that tournament, they were the only two to make it back to the final stage. The second and third ever attempt at the final stage. And to have two people on the final stage, that was really good to see. Especially for Blackouts because at that time he had only beaten Stage 1 once. And then he goes and makes it to the final stage. That makes him and Snozzberries the only competitors who have a 100% clear rate on the third stage. Number 4 is a record on this course that stands for only one person. It was incredible to see Gotenks make it to the final stage 2 times in a row. In Tournament 10 and 11, he was the only competitor to make it to the final stage, and even though he failed the Heavenly Ladder twice, it was really cool to see a competitor do that because the final stage wasn't somewhere that many people got, and at that point, Drago was the only competitor who had been to the final stage more than once, but then Gotenks showed up and really shined in Tournament 10 and 11, making it to the final stage twice in a row. Now for the top 3. Number 3 goes to Just One Player when he achieved total victory in Tournament 9. Just One Player was on his third appearance, the first time as a newcomer he made it to Stage 2. And then he failed the Flying Chute in Tournament 8, but in Tournament 9 he and Snozzberries got all the way to the final stage. And even though Snozzberries came up short, Just One Player climbed to the top in time and became the second ever Grand Champion of Halo Ninja Warrior. That solidified his place as an all-star in this course, and it was really cool to see a competitor with not so much experience do so well on Halo Ninja Warrior. Number 2 goes to Drago is Sick when he made it to the final stage in Tournament 5. He was the first competitor to ever make it to the final stage, and in the previous tournament he failed the last jump on Stage 3, but this time he overcame the last jump and made it to the final stage, and he just timed out too. He was really close to beating the final stage, but this was the first time anyone ever made it to the final stage, and it was good for Drago to prove that the third stage could be defeated, and it really set the path for a lot of future competitors on this course. So very well done to Drago is Sick being the first person to ever complete the third stage. Now, number 1. I think this should be pretty obvious. Number 1 goes to Buddy Jumps in Tournament 7 when he achieved total victory. This is only Buddy's second appearance on Halo Ninja Warrior. The first time in Tournament 6, he failed the spider flip of Stage 3, making him one of the few newcomers who ever made it to Stage 3 on his first appearance. But then in Tournament 7, he made it to the final stage with Drago is Sick, yet Buddy, being the underdog, he managed to climb all the way to the top of the tower in time and became the first competitor to ever achieve total victory. Buddy proved that the course could be done and really was an inspiration for competitors, proving that you don't need to be a huge competitor who's really well known and competes in every single tournament, because Buddy was only there twice and he already achieved total victory, so it was really good to see Buddy have that success on only a second appearance, and to see someone finally achieve total victory after 6 tournaments of defeat. And those are the 20 moments that I thought were the most memorable on Halo Ninja Warrior. I hope you guys agree with at least some of them. I mean, these are just the ones that I thought were the most memorable. The ones that I will always remember, even as I go over to the Xbox One to continue on with Halo Ninja Warrior. And I hope that you guys join me on the Xbox One to continue on with this show. I hope that, you know, when we're done with the Xbox One or whatever, and when we get to Tournament 20, I don't know when I will have another chance to do a video like this, but in the future, I hope to do another video like this for the Xbox One. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you on the Xbox One with more Halo Ninja Warrior.